Alright, so this is entry one into my experiment, my test. What I have here are two large jar containers of smashed up, just hand smashed Santa Rosa plums. And they're in here because I need them to ferment. I need them to, get moldy and really disgusting and stinky. Called fermenting process. Why? Well, so the neighbor I speak of all the time is actually my girlfriend's parents. They live right next door, and I do a lot of yard work for them. I've been doing yard work for them since I would say probably about 10 years now. About 10 years, I would say. They pretty much give me free reign of the entire yard, do whatever I want. They do have, certain things that they like to see, so I do accommodate them. But I'm also, always pushing them to push the limits of nature, to go further, because they have such a huge yard. There's so many possibilities they can do. So, what was it, about 2 years ago, a rubber tree fell on, it was about a 2-ton tree. I mean, it's an old tree. Trunk was, can't show you because I'm holding the camera, but it was a pretty big tree. It went up about 30, it was about between 30 and 40 feet tall. It fell down in some winds, and it took out half of the plum tree. One of the main branches it took out. Just completely snapped it. The following year, the tree did not produce any plums. Nothing. It did put out, leaves, little flowers, blossoms, but they all dropped off. Not a single fruit. The following with that, and that was the summer of the following year after the accident. That winter, it produced fruit, like 2 or 3 fruits. Completely odd for a plum tree that at the time should have been dormant. So it put out fruit. They're tiny, small, bitter, nasty. I tried it. It was god awful, just awful. What I have tried to do so far is I've given it composted manure, some really good compost, what do you call it, just nutrients, feeds, try to bring it back, get it back on track. It doesn't seem to be taking. This year it did not produce any blossoms. It did produce leaves, and that's it, but only on 2 branches out of a total of 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Now I've gone over there and I've grabbed the branches that haven't grown anything, and they're ready just to snap right off. There's no viable tissue left in there. It's completely dead, except for the branches that are actually, photosynthesizing, which are the only ones which is only one of them. Now, years and years and years way back, I got kicked out of my place. Not kicked out, I was living with my sister, and she moved to Las Vegas. She gave me 2-week notice. Hey, I'm moving, the apartment's gonna go, so you have to find some place to live. Blah blah blah, drama. So I end up renting. They have like a back house, kind of similar to this, but it's over their garage. It's just the bedroom, that's it. There's no bathroom or anything like that. So I lived there for a month and a half while I was looking for an apartment. That's how I found this place. So it's right next door, and I saw, hey, it was up for sale. So I grabbed it. So this is my place now. And while I lived there, I observed the plum tree. It put out so many plums, sweet, juicy plums. Just loved it. Anyway, one day I went out there and I saw a plum fell down and landed on the trunk. If you know plum trees, they grow kind of weird trunks. They kind of have bubbly around the root ball, and then it gets thin and goes into the ground. So thin, then kind of looks like a big old mushroom around, and then the trunk. A plum fell and landed on that little mushroom section. I didn't remove it, and I noticed, it kind of rotted on there. I mean, it fermented. It was gross. A couple months after, I noticed that lump of mold and grossness kind of started to resemble wood. It was resembling what that mushroom. It kind of seemed like that's what the mushroom was from fruit falling and landing on the trunk and rotting and becoming part of the tree. So I thought that was extremely weird, very weird. I've never seen anything like that. I've Googled it, I can't find anything on it. So the plan is to cut off the branches that are no longer viable and rub this paste on it. Or once this is fermented and grossed out, it's going to be, super thick and nasty. Cut the bad limbs off and use, I don't have it on me, like netting, almost like stockings basically. So cut, paste it over, almost like cement that they use on trees when they cut big limbs and they don't want termites and other bugs or any bacteria to get into that cutting, so they cover it up with some kind of paste, and it hardens on there and protects the cutting. So I'm going to do the same thing with this, since I observed that the mold and the rottenness of the plum itself over time becomes part of the trunk of the wood, becomes part of the wood. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm also planning to take a 1-inch spade bit and drill into the cutting right in the center, a hole about way big, and place one of the plum seeds from this fermented batch into that hole. Cover it up, use the netting, secure it, make it tight, zip tie it, and let the tree take its course and see how that works out. So this is the beginning of the stages. It's July 31st. I would say this will probably be ready. The fermenting process should be done within 2-3 weeks. I mean, this is a lot of fruit. Usually when I do my tomatoes, my heirloom tomatoes, when I ferment them, it's usually about a 2-week process. But that's only for like one tomato in a pint-size jar. So I'm guessing maybe this might be a little bit longer, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to do step-by-step videos, and I'll put it all together in one episode so you guys can see time-lapse, I guess you can say, and see how it goes. Alright, so this is entry number 1, or episode 1, take 1. It's going to be one episode, but take 1. Alright, be back. Hey everyone, so it's my neighbor's backyard here. Never seen this, huh? I think I did a video one time, but I tried to upload it, but I think that was a time when YouTube, I had a limit on how long I can upload. It ended up being like a 15-minute video, and I only had 10 minutes. So here's a peach tree, doing pretty good. Actually, this is a kind of an offshoot. This is the original right here, and isn't doing so well. It's just kind of nasty, and I sent out all these side shoots, so I just lopped that one off, and it's doing a whole lot better. Lime tree here. This one I had to save because, as you can see, it's growing. It's very heavy on this side, and one day got a lot of rains, and the thing was covered in limes. I mean, just laden with them, and it was just too much weight, and it actually snapped. It split, so I just built that thing and taught it up, and it's been like this for 2 years now. Even though it's split, it's doing fine. Meyer lemon, this thing is constantly just battling for life because of the ficus tree. It's just absorbing all the nutrients and shading it. Alright, roses, camellias. What do you call it? Hysterias. I think that's what they're called, yeah. An ivy. More ficus trees. It's the main tomato patch over there. But it's towards the end of the season. There's a fountain here I redid. I didn't do anything with it for years. It was just concrete. It was just the color of the basin there. It was all that color, and I went ahead and painted it. Made it look like a palm tree, huh? Canary palm makes a freaking mess, as you can see. These are all palm ferns pawned from that thing. It's actually not on their property, it's in the alley, city's property, but they won't trim it. So here's the plum tree I mentioned, that rubber tree. There's the stump right there, and it kind of fell this way, and yeah, took out this limb. Well, I didn't take it out, I just cut it off, but there was another piece to this limb way up here, and it snagged it, broke it. Same with this one over here, because of the, you know, the width of the top of that tree was so massive when it fell down. You know, side shoots and branches is what really hit this, not the main trunk. So when that thing snapped, I mean, that's how it snapped, pretty much clean. So what I did is I fermented those plums, like I said. I went ahead and took a 1-inch spade bit, and I drilled the hole right down in the center. So, and I stuck a bunch of seeds in there, and cover this up. This is actually a paint strainer. Went ahead and cover that up. Used all of the meat and sealed this cutting, and this is going to stay here until spring. Same with these other cuttings here. 2 more. Now this is what I was mentioning, the mushroom at the base of the root. This thing right here, as you can see, it's thin and then just mushrooms out. One day I came out here and there was a plum sitting. It's right here. This is the spot. This is the exact spot. A plum landed right here, and this is what developed over that rotting, or developed that rotting plum developed into wood. So with the 1-inch holes and the seeds in there that have been fermenting for 2 weeks now. Sorry I didn't bring you guys along, but I had the owner out here crying. She didn't want me to do it. She's like, "Did you read up on that somewhere?" I'm like, "No. I don't know if this is going to work or not. But I am called Save My Plant." So it'll work, I'm sure. So that's going to stay on until spring, and then I'll take them off. By then the wound should be healed. And this is the only branch that's been continually actually doing something. It never put out any fruit, but at least he put out some green, so it's photosynthesizing at least. You know that for sure. But no blossoms. None whatsoever. And what I'm going to do with this wood, it's not trash. This is going in my smoker. Yeah. After I'm done here today, I'm going to go and pick up a pork shoulder. Make some pulled pork. Some cool mushroom, huh? I wonder what it looks like up on top. Interesting, huh? This tree always get these mushrooms on it every year. And since we're here, I'm trying not to let them see me videoing. They don't really care for it. There's some purple yams, some squashes, zucchinis, and tomatoes. Those are done. Like I said, some people, you know, plant their stuff. These are all the tomatoes I grew from seed. Plant their stuff and they don't take care of it. This is all, that's a row of mammoth sunflowers I got from Random Helena. And picked up some new tomatoes for them from Home Depot. This is a Phoenix Celebrity tomato. And a big beef right there. Here in Southern California we can grow tomatoes pretty much through November, so I'll be able to get some tomatoes off of that. One other thing I want to show you guys. This kiwi here. This is an old kiwi. It never produces. I grafted a peach tree blossom stem to it, and it's taken. It took. It's in there. It's grafted on there. It's living. Let's see what it does next year. The pond I built. Pretty snazzy, huh? And they're off to Burning Man. They're burners. Looks at the peppers. Look at these. That's just gnarly, huh? Look at that. I am so jealous. These are all the peppers I grew from seed. Brought them over here, planted them. And this is one. That's one bell pepper bush. Nothing but jalapenos, banana peppers, and bell peppers. And Nemo. Alright. It's a massive yard, huh? Yeah, just huge. And just today I finally got talked into doing something about this lawn. I mean it's massive. I mean, and I get it. They don't want to do too much with it because the amount of water you get to use on this place, you can go broke. So I convinced them, because I found this water line. They didn't know this was here. It's connected to a valve. There's no way for the water to escape, so I'm gonna tap into this. And I'm gonna run a couple lengths of this is 1 inch PVC. Probably tone that down to maybe 3/4. And just put a sprinkler here, a clacker, so we can at least water this section there, and then do another one over there to water that section and that section, just to get a little bit of water on it, just to keep it somewhat green, at least patchy green. I mean, who am I to talk? You guys see my backyard, it's all dead anyway. Maybe I can do some more. Maybe I can convince them to do some hoop houses, some greenhouses. And my house is just right over there. There's my roof. Alright. Where's my kitties? Edison! Edison usually follows me over here. And Trixie. Alright. That's what I got. So I'll do an update on that in the spring. I'll go ahead and post this now. And let you guys tell me what you guys think. Will it work? I don't know. Alright. Peace.